to you. Happy holidays.
Hi, everybody. Can't see anything on here either. If you guys can let Paul know if you can hear me and see me all right, that would be super helpful so that we can go ahead and get started. Make sure our internet connection is good also. All right, awesome. How are we doing?
Good. See and
Looks
hear.
like, okay, thank you so much. Don't need this on here. What else don't we need on here? Okay. We're pretty good. Okay, good. So while we let a few people tune in, I do want to talk about a couple upcoming events. So we have coming up on January 3rd is going to be our first weekly service for Roots Revival Interfaith with myself and our three other reverends, Paul Casey Healing Arts, Christina Del Rey, our astrologer here at the Academy, and Dani Johnson, our numerologist here at the Academy. So we will be at 8 p.m. Eastern every Sunday evening doing a service through iTunes, Spotify, basically anywhere else that a podcast will be able to be posted. We'll be there, as well as TikTok Live, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, YouTube, you name it, we'll be running through everywhere. So hope to see you guys there. Right? Anyone who's in need of prayer, healing, this will be a great opportunity for you to come and join us in community fellowship, where we all are going to actively be offering that type of healing energy and prayer for each other. We also have coming up on the 29th. What time is this class? What to expect in 2021?
8 p.m.
8 p.m. Eastern. What to expect in 2021 with Christina Del Rey, our astrologer here at the Academy, and myself talking about each zodiac sign and what's going on for you guys in the upcoming year, but also what major planetary movements will be occurring so that you can maximize your prosperity. I see her every year, and I bring my calendar. I write down all the dates where I know it's like not a good time to make a move, or this is where there's going to be an open door of opportunity, and I coordinate everything. So I highly recommend this for you guys here. That'll be on YouTube. Okay, and then we have coming up Walk-In Night Monthly Virtual Psychic Fair. 100% virtual every month, showcasing students and graduates of the Ivy League Psychic Academy. The next one is Saturday the 26th. Tickets are on sale now. We do tend to sell out. It is first come, first serve for $15. You get 2 readings, 2 healings, a reading and a healing. You can mix or match and check out what the Academy is all about. Okay, so students and graduates giving those readings from the comfort of your own home. And if you want to get your tickets for that, we are doing that at ivrivera.psychicmedium.com, yes?
Yep.
Okay, very good. So that is also in the bio. All right, you guys, feel free to start posting your questions if you haven't already. Paul, my adorable assistant here, will be taking them. How are you, Paulie?
Great, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. In with your questions, he does appreciate if you could include names. So you're asking about which job, which place should I move to? You want to hear from a deceased relative? You're asking about one of your kids? Names, okay? It quickens the process so that we can get onto your neighbor faster. Okay? Should I do my intro? Are we ready to get started?
Yeah, I just want to mention, thanks everyone for their subscriptions. It's been really great. We just passed 3,000, which is just tremendous. That went very quickly, thanks to you guys. So we do offer, we were able to start up a membership service here, which you can click below the description here. And there's also a link in there as well. So we offer some special gifts at different perks at different tiers rather. So check that out. And underneath the chat, there is also a donation button. That's right next to the emojis. Oh, thank you so much. Right on cue. Someone's psychic.
Thanks,
Thank
Gloria.
you, Gloria. So that's down there, and then your name pops up just like Gloria did. Thank you for the example. So, yes, that's all I got then.
Okay. Speaking of Gloria, she's a student of ours, is she not?
She is.
I believe so. So that sort of brings me to this. So I'm glad that happened. We have psychic mediumship course registration. We are down to 10 seats. If you plan on doing the Pathway 2, okay, which is where you actually learn how to give the readings, you're interacting with myself, the assistant teachers. Pathway 1 is always available, video download, but Pathway 2, down to 10 seats. You're going to want to register here soon. We are starting February 16th for that. That's the spring semester, and gift certificates are available if you want to get a reading with me for the holidays. Give it to somebody else, but also gift certificates for the Ivy League Psychic Academy. So if you have someone who's kind of tough to buy for, but they see this stuff, okay, I hate that term, but, or, you know, you've been noticing that they're just being more mindful. They seem to have been going through an awakening, especially this past year. Give them the gift of spiritual development. Get a gift certificate for the academy or even that class, better yet, okay? All right, I think that's everything, right? We good?
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. So welcome, everyone. I'm Ivy Rivera. I'm a psychic medium, a Taino Arawak, and I run a school called the Ivy League Psychic Academy where we train people internationally, online, and everything from psychic mediumship development to tarot, Reiki, astrology, numerology, meditation, children, adults, you name it, we do it. So we hope to see you there for classes. This is my weekly show, Ask Ivy, where I take your personal questions. And I will be taking off next week for the holidays. I'll be taking a big old nap. Okay, so you guys won't see me next week, but I'll be back the week after that. So feel free to start posting your questions now if you haven't done so already. Include names of anyone or anything that you're referring to if you want a very specific answer. All right, let's get into it. Polly, what do we have?
Okay, we have one from Rachel.
Okay.
Is the guy I'm currently with, Chris, with a K, my one or twin flame?
Well, there's no such thing as twin flame. People don't like me for saying that, but I have no proof of it. We don't have one either. So that's the reality of life. If you choose to make that person your one and you sign a contract and that is it, then that is your one. However, in the scheme of things, we get about 5 to 6 different options for soulmates, and there's no such thing as a twin flame. So, is he one of the ones? Is he one of the potential ones? I feel like he could be. I feel that there's more work to be done here. And I think that this is a 2-year process of figuring out whether or not he could be that one in the way that you're thinking of it. And if he can work through some things where, let's put it this way, if he can learn to be a little bit more proactive and engaging in an intimate relationship with another person so that he's sort of pulling his weight all the time and he's more involved, less wavering, less detaching, and if you can stop overreaching, I think that we have a real potential to make this work in the day-to-day.
Very good. This one is from Kimmy.
Okay.
She says, I find the older I get, the harder it is to feel connected to my spirituality. How do I find clarity and feel that energy again? I felt disconnected for quite some time.
Well, probably, here's what I tell my students. If you're disconnected, there's something you didn't do. I would always look there first. The easiest way to become reconnected, first of all, take my free classes here that I've been putting up. Okay, if you go to the playlist, you'll see all the classes I've been putting up since the pandemic hit. Start there. When you get more serious and you're ready for real training, go to my website, ivyriverapsychicmedium.com, and take the actual trainings. Now, what do you do to get back in touch? Typically, what I see is that you went through a period of time where spirit was telling you that there was something you needed to do. You needed to take responsibility for something in your life. You needed to detox from something. You needed to make changes in some way. And because that responsibility fell on you, not the universe, it was up to you to do, not your spirit guides or your ancestors, it's very possible that you didn't do something. And when we miss a step, I don't care how small it may seem, we tend to feel cut off. And then it's like a downward spiral from there. So was there a change you were supposed to make in your relationships, with your lifestyle, with your job or your career? Was there something you knew in your gut you were supposed to do and you've been putting it on the back burner? Start with that question. Start with the free classes here and let it go from there.
Cool. Yeah, this is going to be, I think, a big night for people learning about their gifts. It's a lot of questions about it, which is really cool.
Oh, that is my favorite topic.
Yeah, you've come to the right place.
Wonderful. Thanks again for the donations, guys. I see them coming in. Very much appreciated.
Okay, let's roll into another. This is from Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm an empath and intuitive.
Okay. Something
keeps waking me during witching hours, and I don't know what it is.
Okay. It's probably a million things. It's not that easy when you start to notice that you're being woken up between, and what she's referring to here, the witching hour is also known as the haunting hour. It's between 3 and 5:30 in the morning. Now, what happens during that time is that the people that are most mediumistic or have awakened to the more mediumistic parts of their intuition, all of a sudden they're going to start waking up then because they're being woken up. So that's true. That does happen. It's possible that there are spirits coming in and out, waking you intentionally, unintentionally, giving messages, just passing through. There's all kinds of activity. But the other thing that's going on is that you are also now, because of your awakening, vibrating at a higher level, and this activates the empathic and psychic stuff as well. So everything that I teach here at the Academy is about psychic, mediumistic, and empathic ability. We have to look at all three to really understand what's going on. And the haunting hour is the best time to start examining that. How do you know which is which? What's being activated? Keep a journal. You're going to have to start asking questions. Don't go outside of you to ask the questions. Don't even come to me to ask the questions. Go inside you to ask the questions. It happened to you. The spirits that are trying to communicate are there to communicate with you. The dreams that you're having, the weird, peculiar energies in your bedroom that are waking you up, they're all there for you. So you have access to that information, but you have to put in the hard work. You're going to have to, every single time you wake up, stop yourself and say, what is going on here? Now, I have a class called Dreams. You're going to want to go to the website for that. Dreams will teach you how to decipher what's happening, not just during the haunting hour, but at any point when you're waking up, how to use lucid dreaming techniques to control that state of sleep in a more healthy, productive manner, but also how to go back. So like the next day, you should be able to go back and access that information, what was going on. You're going to want to start categorizing things. Psychic, mediumistic, or empathic. What's really going on, and then get the upper hand.
Cool.
It's never as simple as like one thing, right? No, because intuition isn't like that.
Yeah.
If you have one, you probably have the other two. And if you got, the only one that we can get away with where we can say, this is it, I just basically have this, is psychic ability. Like a psychic can just be psychic and not necessarily have the other two. But when you get into mediumship, you automatically have psychic ability. And when you become an empath, especially at the 3rd and 4th levels, you automatically have the other two. So it gets very entangled.
Okay, this one is from Lola.
Okay.
Should I continue to wait on my Section 8 housing or go ahead and find my own place? I've been homeless for 2 years.
I'm just really feeling like this is going to take even longer. And I think that here's the thing. I would not be surprised at all if you go forward with doing this your own way and then all of a sudden it comes through. It feels to me like the universe is pushing you to figure out how to do this another way. So if we were to say that you're supposed to be, the bigger lesson, the bigger picture here is that you figure out how to do it on your own through other means, that would be true. All right. So you figure it out and then you get it anyways is probably how that's going to go. Okay. Or let's just say you figure it out and then you don't even necessarily need it. But yes, I think that it is time for you to move forward. This thing is held up. It is held up and there is a lesson here. There is a test going on. There is something bigger than what meets the eye with this.
have an interesting one from Malu.
Okay.
My mom, Nikki, had a fall last Friday, and it turns out so did one of her aunts, who we're calling S,
Okay.
who lives oceans apart from us. Was there any connection between these two incidents?
Well, I think that people get more connected as time goes on, especially family members or members of the same soul tribe. And so through telepathy, energetic exchange, chords, medical intuitive abilities, and then as we get older, these things increase naturally. They increase every 5 to 6 years. You have your last major increase of intuitive intelligence naturally between 48 and 52. So if both of these ladies have surpassed that, I mean, they've basically gone through the gauntlet, and I think that as we become more intuitive, we do pick up on each other, physically, and it's very similar to what twins would talk about. So twins would say, my twin sister fell and broke her arm, and I had excruciating pain, even though I was in China and she was in America at the time, overseas, I could feel this. Parents will explain this, dads and moms will talk about feeling the pain of their child from a tremendous difference. It's no different. So we pick up on each other. Could it be that one influenced the other to fall? It's certainly possible. It's also very possible that due to that energetic exchange, we could say that they've almost like synced up. So it's kind of gross, right? But when we talk about women all being like on the same cycle, like that you could take these communities. I watched a documentary recently. It was a community of women in Africa who have no men in the tribes. It's all matriarchal. Well, they're all like in sync. So it's kind of like, think of that, okay? When you have people that are in sync with each other, their timelines can be the same. So they go through the same financial issues, the same medical problems, the same thought processes or heaviness with emotions, lightheartedness. And due to that energy level, it kicks law of attraction in and manifestation as well. So we could see the universe sort of reacting with each individual in the same way. And it's like space. This is another great example of how space is an illusion. We are all connected energetically. Okay, so yeah, it's possible.
We have one from Priscilla.
Okay.
She says, I swear I saw my Aunt Irma that passed away at the store. I couldn't speak and almost fainted. Afterwards, I had no energy in me and I felt completely drained. What does she want? She isn't the only one I've seen. Scared.
Okay. It's nothing to be afraid of. We don't die. So, this is going to happen. You're not necessarily seeing her because she has a message. You're seeing her because you see people this way, and that's okay. And that's normal. And there's nothing to be afraid of. What we need to do is to tune out. What you're going to have to do is tune out what you've been told, which is that this is bad, or this is demonic, or this is dangerous, or that there's something wrong with you, mentally or physically, and I can't prescribe or diagnose, but this is natural, okay? So we have to get over the fear. We have to stop labeling it as something bad. Why would it be bad? Did your aunt abuse you? Did your aunt attack you? Has she been haunting you at night? Is there something wrong? Why would you be afraid of your aunt maybe wanting to communicate with you? I think it's a reminder that she's still around. I don't get that there's any particular message here. I do feel that it's an opportunity, sort of like a test, which I would see as a blessing being given to you by your own higher mind. Okay, I feel like you've asked for this. Maybe you don't remember it, but I do. I feel like you want to evolve, and your higher mind is allowing you to see these things. I think more of us see our deceased loved ones and ancestors more than we're always admitting that we do. And I think that humans are the mouthpiece for God. So humans are used every day around us, whether it be through social media or the guy behind us in the grocery store in line, to give messages. And I think that this message has to do with you getting over your fear, letting go, and starting to embrace that they exist and love you and are trying to communicate. You need to start building that communication with them. So go to her and ask her if there's anything more she has to say. She certainly has plenty that she would like to talk to you about, but fear is going to block that. Mm-hmm.
This is from Jen.
Okay.
Should I accept my gifts, and how do I move forward?
There's no way not to accept your gifts without it causing disorders. So I can't prescribe or diagnose, but when we deny our gifts and we try to block them and reverse them, reversal is impossible. Blocking them full time is impossible. So we develop ADHD, anxiety disorders, depressive disorders, among other things. It's not an option to not engage with and they're not gifts, these are just abilities. Everybody has them, but to different degrees. It's something that, sort of like the last question, you have to just, get over that debate and decide, I'm ready to take ownership of this and celebrate it as part of me, part of my individuality, part of my abilities to not only heal myself, but also eventually be of service to others. So, where do you start? Psychic mediumship course. Everybody ends up here eventually because there is a lost language. And what we do through the psychic mediumship course is relearn that lost language and remove blocks and obstacles that have been making it confusing for you. When we don't understand where our intuition is coming from or what to do with it, we end up just being sort of overwhelmed and feeling awkward about the whole thing. And it's really unclear what the next step should be. So the psychic mediumship course breaks down the language with the psychic ability, the mediumistic abilities, and the empathic ability through something called the PSC method. That's the psychology of spirit communication method. Hope to see you in February.
Yes. Yeah. I want to thank Gloria and Priscilla for their donations. It's very generous and very awesome. We really appreciate it. And Lola and Malu said thank you so much and thank you, respectively.
You're welcome, everybody. Yes, thanks again for the donations also.
Okay. And Priscilla says thank you so much. And lots of fear, thinking something is bad. Mom was a wonderful woman who raised me. I would like to start somewhere to release my fear. So, perfect.
Good.
Come join us in February.
Amen.
Okay, we have one from Layla.
Okay.
She says, I've been trying to conceive for 2 years with no luck. Will I be able to have a baby?
I feel that this is one of those situations where we're trying, as are so many other people in our society today, to have a baby within our time clock. And here's what I always tell my clients. No one's going to like to hear this. Sometimes you just have to go with the baby's timeline. So what I do is I speak to the kids on the other side. I get an idea for when they're willing to come through, because that's up to their free will. I had an opportunity to write my own life contract and pick my timeline. You had an opportunity to pick your timeline. Your kids have an opportunity to pick their timeline. When we go against that, and in our society we decide we're going to do X, Y, Z, all our ducks in a row. It's going to go in this order and within my timeline. Your kids don't care. They don't care. That is not reality. And then we put ourselves through all of this torture. And all we need to do is just work with them. Okay, we've got to work with them. I do feel that your next child in line is interested in coming through at the 3rd year. So that has to do with, okay, say you put in 2 years. You said you put in 2 years already. This baby is willing to come through within the year after that. So if you were to just sort of freestyle this, you would probably see this child coming in. It's possible anytime during that year, but I was really feeling more toward the end of that year. So do the math on that and expect, I would say, if not sooner, by the end of that 3rd year out. Okay, so that's his timeline, and that's all there is to it. And I don't see any other major red flags here. Okay.
Okay, we have one from Bernadette.
Okay.
Says, Ivy, you've been absolutely right about the things over the years. What can you tell me about Ben, prospective love interest? I'm not sure if something is being hidden from me.
Okay, so Bernadette, an old client here, I like him, but there's a lot of talk of books. So I don't know if he keeps his head in the books or he's all about educating himself or learning more. He's kind of like a sponge. I see all these books around him. That can also mean that he's kind of like a researcher. He likes to dig deeper into different topics, like a little investigator. And I think that's great. I also think that he's a little odd. So he could feel different. than, the typical guy out there that you're used to. It could seem as though he's up to something, that he's hiding something. I think that one of the things he has happening with him energetically that gives that feeling off, in addition to this, is that he is not very trusting himself. And so he has a way of presenting as though he's an open book, as though like this is, this is my story, but he's very selective on what he shows. And so if we were to say, is he hiding stuff? Yeah, he's hiding a whole bunch of stuff. And I bet you are too. And I think you both should, because the world will like eat you up and just chew you and spit you out, especially in the dating world. You know what I mean? God bless you.
Thank you.
And so there's no reason anyone should have all their stuff out on the table. I think that you dealing with Ben is an opportunity for you to learn about his approach and how it's kind of honestly also your approach, and how you two are actually very similar. But I do think that Ben opens up in time. And I think that if you see that there are certain areas where he won't, he really is having an opportunity in this relationship with you, should it turn into like a relationship. He's having an opportunity with you to do that. I think that he would almost prefer to level jump over that and be like a serial dater, so that he doesn't have to get to that deeper, intimate level. And that's not going to be acceptable. And so we'll see what he does with that. This is a growth opportunity for both of you. But with him, I think just like keep putting yourself out there and hold your ground. It's like, I'm not going to reach. I'm not going to question. I'm not going to wonder. You show me what you've got. You show me what you're capable of. And I think it's honorable that he's reserved. I think that, though, when the time is right, we'll see if he's got enough guts to put himself out there or not. And that'll be the decision as to whether or not you stay and invest or you just kind of walk. It's cute, though. Definitely.
As cute as me?
No one's as cute as
Yay.
you, Polly Pants.
Thank you. This is from Alex.
Okay.
I am applying for a position I've wanted for the past 4 years. Grad Hall Director. Do you think I will get it?
Grad Hall Director. I do think you might get it, but I think you really got to push your weight on this one. I felt you going in there and being like, you know what, I'm not asking you anymore. I'm telling you I'm taking this position. It's almost like I'm telling you that I have earned this position. You have earned this position. That's it, period, point blank. I see why there's been a couple holdups, but it really should not happen again. And I don't know if someone's like playing politics this year, or they've got some favoritism nonsense going on. I think that if you make it very clear that you are here, you state what it is that you put in, time-wise, effort-wise, and that this is going to work in your favor, but it seems to me like you need to be a little bit louder than what you have been. I feel this great etiquette with you, this professionalism, and this ability to be like, okay, well, I'm going to go with the flow. I'm just going to keep on, nose to the grind, steady, slow and steady wins the race. And it's like there's a season for that. And then sometimes it's not slow and steady. Sometimes, it's like that tortoise in the hare, and the hare will just come and just the thump right all over, someone in management to just make sure that they get it. Make yourself known. And I do think it will be yours. Yes.
It's very cool. This one is from Jessica. Said, in a recent reading, you confirmed I'm an empath and here to heal. Should I be rolling in Pathway 1 or Pathway 2? I'm unsure how much I should be doing and when.
Well, I could tell you the difference. So what Jessica's referring to is Pathway 1 Psychic Mediumship course or Pathway 2 Psychic Mediumship course. Pathway 1 is going to show you how all of this works, but I'm not going to help you apply it. I'm not going to teach you how to give readings. Pathway 2 shows you how all of this works, and then I lead you through every single step of the way so that you can decipher by the end whether you want to go into more of the healing arts, medical intuitive, criminal investigations, missing persons. You want to get more into like, psychic readings, mediumship readings. What does this mean for you? We have to start somewhere. So that is not up to me to tell you. I think you need to sit down with your work and money guide and your joy guide overseas, your spiritual development, your mental and emotional well-being. And your work and money guide oversees not only your daily paycheck and your finances, but your life contract, why you came to Earth. Ask those two guides what it is that you're supposed to do next. And they'll show you pathway 1 or pathway 2. Mm-hmm.
Very good. Yes.
Looking forward to having you, though. Yeah, fun.
Yes. This is from Joe.
Okay.
Do you see me landing this job at Lincare?
Yep.
All right.
Next? No, I'm just kidding. Let's see what's going on. I don't know why I feel like I have to drag it out for 3 minutes. Do I see? Yeah, I heard them say yes. So I feel yes. Yes. And I think that this feels like a stepping stone, okay? It just feels to me like you get in, and it's like this wave. So I don't know if this is a job you've really been wanting for a long time, or this is a position you've really been wanting, or if this is just work that you were supposed to be doing. And so it's like a wave. It could be all three. But it's almost like you are getting your hands dirty. And I think that you do have a very tall or leaner, gentleman who comes in here, feels like grandfather energy watching over you. Very strong, like deep eyes. I feel like you guys see the world the same way. And you're very type A. You could be a real go-getter when you want to be. When you don't care about something, nothing can happen to influence you or make you invested. But when you are invested, you're really invested. Like a dog on a bone, he says. And so he's proud of you for this. He's watching over and guiding you through this process. But I do feel like you getting in shows you where else you're supposed to be going next. So this is a stepping stone in a much bigger process. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, this is from Nisa. Is my Aunt Blanca going to receive a transplant in the upcoming year?
Yes, I believe so. I can't prescribe or diagnose, but, and thanks for the donations, guys. I see them coming in. Very appreciated. What I feel for her in this upcoming year is a couple points of relief. And so I would not be surprised if about a quarter of the way in, we hear some good news. A quarter after that, even better. So what am I talking? Right, spring, and then summer going into fall. It's almost like this is hitting near the equinox. I'm seeing 15 and 16, though. So that could be the 15th or the 16th of the month as well. The 17th, some actual money coming in. Now, money doesn't have to literally be money, but it could be like the insurance kicking in or getting into a better program or getting something offered, that is like prosperity, prosperity coming in. And, and then I feel like by the end of the year, it's all sort of sorted out. And so it's probably done by the end of the year. But it gets bigger, with every time. I do feel that it's important to celebrate and to not have like negativity. So, and this is a lesson for everyone involved with her, including herself, obviously, that when we hear words of celebration, when we hear good news, we don't go, oh, well, probably not, or waiting for the other shoe to drop, or negativity. This is also a test. This is also a life lesson. And that means that the minute we see a speck of a star, a speck of light at the end of the tunnel, we are manifesting, we are using law of attraction, we are praising God for that, we are coming with an attitude of gratitude, we are celebrating as though it is real. And I think this is a lesson for the whole family to get together and collectively pull that energy in the right direction. And you'll see that it could be a nice progressive sort of celebration, really, for her life. It's nice. Mm-hmm.
Good. Okay. This one is from Alicia.
Okay.
How do I truly know if I'm an empath or an intuitive? I always feel like I know things before they happen. Not with everything, but most things I feel like I'm always saying, yeah, I knew that already.
There you go. You answered your own question. Right? How do you know you're psychic? Because you're psychic. But everybody is. Okay? How do people know that when they feel in their gut they should probably switch lanes, on the throughway, and then there's an accident right to the right of them a minute later, Was that good luck? Was that gitchy? Was that weird? No, that was psychic ability kicking in. Anyone who's alive on planet Earth is using their psychic ability every single day. So that's how you know you have it, because you have it, okay? And how do you know that it's accurate, because you could test it out with simple things like I knew the phone was going to ring, or I knew that random movie that I haven't seen since I was 8 years old was going to pop on TV or was going to show up in my YouTube feed. Or, you just have a way of also knowing, especially with other human beings, that's really connected to psychic and empathic ability, when you're going to hear something about somebody, or they're going to send a friend request, or they're going to cross your path on social media. So all of that is sort of the same pool of energy, right? That's psychic stuff. What was the second part of her question? Or what was the question?
How do I truly know if I'm an empath or an intuitive?
Now you truly know. I don't know. It's just there. It's a given. The empathic stuff is a little bit more complicated. We have a class called Empathic Awareness. So go to Ivy Rivera, empathiceducator.com. Paul, can you put that in the comments section? Okay.
Yep, it's available, clickable in the description.
Clickable in the description. Okay. So empathic awareness training teaches everyone what empathic ability is and how to manage it. But I also break down the 4 different levels. This is not just based on my own research over the last 40 years. It's also based on scientific and medical research. So that training is available for everyone. And this is about understanding when, especially, you're being triggered, when you're over absorbing, and how that's negatively affecting you, how to get control and use it positively for yourself and for others. And it's worth taking the time. The other thing that I do in the empathic awareness training is I break down all the different avenues. So when you have empathic ability, you're automatically psychic and you're automatically mediumistic. And so we talk about all 3, and that's super important. You can't understand your empathic ability without understanding that you also are those other 2 things. And that's where medical and scientific research falls flat. Mm-hmm. Then we turn to big pharma, and we just start relying there. Can I ask everybody real quick to go to that like button and click it? If we could give this a thumbs up. I forgot to ask everybody at the beginning of the show. Greatly appreciated. Also, if you have not subscribed, please do so. And if you hit that bell, you'll get alerts when I go live.
Very good. Yeah, we're getting some good feedback about empathic awareness training from those that have taken it.
Oh, good.
And Jessica, who asked the question, had bought it today and is looking forward to watching it after the show tonight.
Oh, so, enjoy.
Yeah,
it's really life-changing. I have therapists and doctors and teachers. Teachers, actually, if you find that you get burnout and stuff, you have trouble with your empathic ability, or you see you have empathic students, our teacher trainings are available for teacher credits as well. So there's training for everyone up there. Protesters, those who work on the front lines. We're about to bring it into the prison system. We're in universities and school systems. It's a big deal. So,
yeah, and kids too.
Children, yep, parents who have intuitive kids. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this one, this is from Alyssa.
Okay.
Seems pretty down and out. Is there anything coming up in any aspect of my life? Anything to look forward to?
Anything to look forward to? Well, yes. There is somebody showing up. I don't know if you lean toward men, or if that that's someone you're already involved with. But it feels like a romantic partnership, and this person has a lot of masculine energy. So I have somebody coming in here and there's talk of 2. So I could be talking, 2 weeks, 2 months. Someone very uplifting. And so if you're already invested, I would say that we're seeing a new level for you in love. All right. However this comes, this person comes in to not take care of stuff for you, but is definitely uplifting your energy. And sometimes, you've got just the right person at just the right time, and you realize that you have a soulmate contract, and that this is soulmate ability. Or soulmate contracts at their best are work contracts, right? So you're a team. And that's a beautiful thing. You also have somebody else coming in who ran in here as a dog, okay? I'm not saying you're getting a dog, but that is a symbol for loyalty. So I also see some loyal payout coming. And this is over here to the right, which is the future for you. And I want to say about 3 months out. We have loyal karmic retribution coming in. So someone is working things in your favor behind the scenes and out in the open directly with you. And that will also help a lot. So yeah, I also see some increase with money, or we would say your resources. So some new work outlets, you being seen, you being heard, you being on solid footing, your grandmother says. You also have a grandfather over here. They don't seem to be holding hands. I'm not saying they weren't together. I'm just saying they don't seem to be all about that. So they're kind of keeping their personal space. But, you know, they make me feel like you're going to be on solid ground. And, like, that's really all you want. And your grandmother wants you to keep your chin up and remember that, like, that quiet hallelujah, that ability to be centered and rooted and grounded and at peace, even in the storm, that is priceless. You think you're in trouble, and you're not, because you're learning this right now. Okay.
It's good to know that personal space is still valuable after you pass.
Well, they have definitely figured out how to do it.
You know, hey,
they can work together. They just don't have to be all,
right.
holding hands and singing Kumbaya. That's fine.
Let's just say thank you. They weren't together.
That makes sense.
All right. We have one from Felicia.
Okay.
He says, should I continue with going to school? Am I in the right career field?
Should I continue going to school? Yeah. I'm hearing that you could. It feels like a 2-year program or 2 certificates. Are you in the right field? I think that if we look at your life contract, you could book a life contract reading with me at any time and we can get in depth. But when I look at your life contract, you're supposed to be speaking and communicating. And right now you're getting tied up in stuff that seems to stifle you under the boot of authority, glass ceilings, walls. There's a lot coming up here with you too, having to do with like culinary. So I don't know if that's just like an outlet for you, but culinary is also connected to the healing arts through services to others. Okay. So when we talk about feeding people's souls or feeding them literally, this can be a symbol of you having ability in that area in such a way where you would have incorporated it into your life contract, and that can play out as cash value. So we really want to look at your life contract and say, okay, these are the abilities that she has. This is what she came to Earth to do. Let's turn it into a paycheck somehow. And I think that if you look at those 2 particular areas, you're going to do well. I also think that it's really important that you stay at the forefront. So whether this is like business ownership, being self-employed, making sure that you're not being told what you're allowed to do, but you're allowed to have creative expression and evolution when you feel that it's ready. That's important, because walls and ceilings don't work well with you or your life contract. Okay, so do what you need to do to get there. And I would not be surprised if that requires a little bit of additional training. I don't think you have to, but I think you could. And sometimes it's good to just go ahead and get the training or the certification or the extra education to just like know that you've turned every stone, and just to kind of have a moment to figure things out while you're there and catch your breath, and then like not have to push as hard later. Sometimes it does hold water and it is worth it. And I think for you, it could be. Okay. But you don't have to. Yeah.
Very good. I want to thank Kimmy for her donation, and Layla. Bernadette said, thank you. Absolutely. He was a little odd, is spot on. Layla said, wow, thank you so much. She's been going through a spiritual awakening and knows she needs to let the child loose, and that she's on her own timeline. So thank you. Jessica and Joe say thank you. Nisa, all capitals, thank you. And Alicia said thank you as well. And Felicia. So
wonderful. Yes.
Very, very wonderful crowd.
Very good. Thank you so much. Yeah, everybody seems great. I'll miss you guys next week, but I will see you the following week. I'm going to take off for the holidays. I also want to remind you guys to get your tickets, okay? If you want to see what the Ivy League Psychic Academy is all about, if you're debating on psychic mediumship course, you do want to get registered soon, okay? We have 10 seats left. But our monthly walk-in night, our virtual psychic fairs, are showcasing students and graduates of the Ivy League Psychic Academy. And so we have a brand new, fresh group of students that will be reading. $15 gets you 2 tickets. That's 2 readings or 2 healings. And you can go onto the website to get those tickets. I want to say thank you to members, okay? If you want to become a member, get behind the scenes, your horoscope, direct messages, stuff like that, hit that join button. Thank you to Jeanette Guerrero, the Pisces Goddess, Jamie Joe, Colleen Casiba, Heather Fitzgerald, Camille Wolf, Dakota Miller, Julie Campbell, the Quantum Empress, Donna Hanser, Amanda Hebert, Amy Nicole, Mary Hodgson, Cheryl Gottman, Lori Filon, Candace Kempton, Angelica Pilar, Gloria Augusto, Vanessa Dempsey, Carrie Watson, Chicken Mama, Jill Marie, and Bernadette Ruoff. Thank you, Polly.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Spirit. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Happy holidays. I'm going to leave this with you.